You and your family, you're losing access to healthcare. Not by the way you think, but now I'm going to explain it to you. It's going to be a long one, but you should pay attention to this because it's really important because you're losing access to healthcare. We all love the idea about having health insurance, so it's all covered. We all feel safe. Here in the United States, it was done with Obamacare, that it's mandatory that you have health insurance and everybody qualifies no matter who you are. So no matter how sick and how old, how fat or how unhealthy you are, you have unlimited access to treatment. In Europe, it's done the same way. It's just done via the tax. You just have to pay taxes and then you have access to it. But what the whole thing is, end-of-life care consumes by far the most money for health insurance. Old people, that's the baby boomer generation these days, the last 2 years of their life, we are programmed to die as humans, remember that. So the last 2 years of your life are per definition very difficult. You are per definition getting sick. We are pouring endless resources into old people to save them for living 1 more year or 2 more years or 3 more years, which is a very unnatural situation. Throughout world history, it's always been like this. Let's say I was 85. Let's say I'm getting sick, I have kidney problems. If I could get that fixed and hospital systems had a way to fix that, they would quote me, it'll cost you $300,000 to fix that, or it would cost you $800,000 to get a heart surgery, whatever it might be. If that bill should be paid by my own kids, my own family, I would never do it. I would never ask my own son to sell his house or mortgage his house or sacrifice his life quality with his kids because I had to live a year or 2 longer. I would be totally satisfied by having brought up my family, lived a successful life, and my time have come. That's how the world always have worked. It doesn't work that way anymore. And the reason for that is, of course, very simple, because the state have gotten into the middle of it. So when you're 85 today and you run into a problem, you demand endless care, no matter what the price are, because you know it's the society who pays for it. You think it's a free ride, and because everybody else gets it. But it's still your son who pays for it. He just pays for it indirectly via taxes or elevated insurance premium. Whenever you make a system where the one who gets the benefit is not the same as the one who pays, there's abuse. You can say if you provided free cookies to everyone, it wouldn't be a problem because there's a limit to how many cookies you can eat, no matter if you get it for free or not. But there's no limit to the expense, what it costs to keep a man or a woman alive. So you can never move the payer from the one who receives the benefit. In the United States, it works via insurance, and you have to pay for it. It's not voluntary anymore. Obama, he made it that way. Of course, the lower end of the population, those who doesn't make a lot of money or who work under the table, or the old people, they get subsidized insurance premiums. Their real insurance premium might be $2,000 or $3,000 to get insurance. But of course, they only pay $50 a month to get in on it. That difference in their real risk, which is $3,000 a month or whatever it might be, is paid up by the middle class and by the young. So a young person, a family of 4, they pay, let's say, $1,000 in insurance a month or $1,500 in insurance a month. Their real risk and their real premium for insurance, if they weren't forced into paying for old people, end-of-life care, and very, very irresponsible people, their insurance premium would fall by 90%. That means that 9 out of $10 that you either pay in taxes into the healthcare system or you pay in the insurance premium, that money is going to end-of-life care or very irresponsible people. And that means that all the resources that is supposed to go to cover you when you get sick is blown on something else. Just like in a family in the olden days, if the old grandpa at 87, he spent the family fortune to keep him alive for another 6 months, the whole family would starve to death or have to sell their house. It's the same thing on a societal basis. Add to this that there's a lot of fraud and there's a lot of bureaucracy involved in the system now. That's another 40 or 50% that just disappears. So my point is, unless we get back to a system, this will happen, by the way. Either it happens voluntarily because we decide to do it, or it happens because countries go bankrupt. If we do not get back to a system where the one who receives healthcare is the one who pays for it, then there will be no healthcare left to the young and to the middle class. And no, it won't be there when you get old because of demographics and other thing. A system like this cannot work. And the reason it can't work is because it's communism. We've seen it over and over again. The system we have now where the government decides who lives and who dies, or the insurance guy decides who do we pay to, who do we not pay to, that creates friction and hate in society. That's why you saw a healthcare CEO got shot in the United States last year. But if you take it back to the family, it's going to be a situation full of love. Let's say that I'm old and I am close to dying. I will beg my children not to give me care. I will tell my children, no, I lived a good life. You keep the money, because that's pride for me. I live my whole life right now for my children. Everything I do, when I save, when I work, when I invest, I don't do that for my own sake. I do that so my children can have a wonderful life. In Europe, there's no way out of it if you don't want to participate in that, because you pay it in your taxes, and if you don't pay, you go to prison. Obama, he tried to make the same system here, just via forced insurance premiums for the middle class. You had to pay into it. Trump, he did not change the law, but what he did, he removed the enforcement. So now you can stop buying your healthcare insurance, and he won't do anything about it. So what I did in my family, I canceled all our health insurances. I'm simply not paying into it anymore, because I realized that the monthly premium for me does not cover the risk that me and my family carries. It is paying for mass immigration, super irresponsible people who doesn't take care of their health, and for end-of-life care for baby boomers, who would never make those decisions if they had to pay for it themselves. They only choose to get all that treatment because they know a stranger, in this case me, is paying for it. Okay, so the solution here in the United States is, for me, I'm gonna stop paying for this, and then I'm going to go into a system somebody built online, which is called crowdfunding. So what crowdfunding is basically you sign up for it in a circle of people, and you have to fit into certain criteria, and those criteria are made so that you cannot be a high-risk person. Just like if your car insurance said, we do not want to insure people who are drunk drivers or who have a lot of speeding tickets. They are high-risk people. We don't want to insure them. The same is this crowdfunding doing. It's not insurance, it's crowdfunding. So they make a circle, let's say they collect 50,000 people who is deemed to be responsible people who's not needing end of care life. And they are by law not allowed to make an insurance company, because insurance companies have to follow the rules that Obamacare sets out. So they do it in a crowdfunding platform instead. I'm going to link to it here in a little bit. You should look at it if you're a middle class family. So every month I get an email and I sign, where I have to commit to crowdfund people who have problems. So a guy from Massachusetts, he fell, he broke his knee, he needs a knee surgery, it'll cost him $50,000 to do. Then I get an email, would you like to contribute $154 to this? And the more I press yes on those buttons, the higher my score gets. So I get a score from 0 to 100. The more I press yes, that means the more I crowdfund other responsible people who were unlucky, the higher score I get. Whenever I get into trouble, I will submit, you know what, I broke my arm. I need help with this. When my email goes out to the 50,000 of the other people, they will see, oh, Johnny, he have a score of 94. That meant he approved 9 out of 10 requests to crowdfund other people in problem. So this society of the 50 people that we just created grades me, and they will say, oh yeah, Johnny, he's been a good contributor. So the likelihood all those people will, in their own interest, to get their own score up, will say, yes, we will pay for this. This is in effect insurance that's done without creating an insurance company, because it's illegal to do it. It's an insurance company in effect where you have the outliers of end-of-life care, super irresponsible people taken out. That means that my insurance premium now have fallen 90%. So that's the escape valve here in the United States. So you're not getting forced with a gun from Obama or the tax authorities in Europe to pay for irresponsible people and end-of-life care for people who would not choose to get the care if their own children had to pay for it. Of course, they don't care when I pay for it. So that's the escape valve here. And to all the viewers on this channel here in the United States, I would urge you to go in to take a look at this crowdfunding platform. And this is only the beginning. But like I said earlier in this video, either the communist system of forced contribution to end-of-life care for boomers or immigrants or other irresponsible people gonna end voluntarily because we reform it, which is not gonna happen. Then it's gonna happen because of a complete meltdown of first the state and then the healthcare system. And I know you already experience it. Here in the United States, you experience it via inflation. In Europe, you experience it via low quality care or waiting list. Well, there's a long one, but it's worth looking into, and now you understand how the health system works and what the dynamic